to unmute. So welcome to this circle where we're going to be sharing a little bit about the basics that I was shown that I call the galactic landscape. And it is information that some of it is very, very new and different for people out there who've been even doing personal work. So it should be an exciting journey. It's 4 weeks just to lay some foundations down so we can be on the same page in case you want to go further into the next year of being a supportive community, building literally on that new landscape. So welcome, thank you for being here. And as always, we're going to set space. So if you just find a place for your body to be held and recognize that your physical body is in a physical location. Feel that pressure of the place you're sitting or lying on your body. You are here in the present moment. And then let your breath bring to you a focus, like a focus maybe right there at the third eye. Bring focus to that place. Sitting quietly, focusing the energy at the third eye just as a place to focus that says, I'm here, I'm present. And in this circle, as we set this space, let that breath gather up any energy of disruption or worry or nervousness that may have been floating through your space. Just gather it up like a good housekeeper and put it off to the side. Let your housekeeping elves work with it while you sit quietly here with us. We gather in the sacred ground of sovereignty. Cocooned in the flame of the Guardian Circle protocol, meaning we work with beings beyond this earth who are with us in this journey. They are here to keep us balanced as we visit, keep our safe secured, protected and safe as we visit. Guardian Circle protocol. And then just imagine energy coming down through your third eye, secure, light, brilliant, moving right down the midline of your body, gathering your energy to that midline point to energize all of those power centers. Moving the energy right down
I think Sharon will rejoin us in just a moment.
I just got a text from Sharon, and she said there was a strange, unexpected power outage, and that she will be back as soon as she can. So perhaps we could go around the circle and introduce ourselves as we're waiting for Sharon to come back. Kelly, would you like to begin?
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Kelly Lair. I am in Portland, Oregon. I have been following Sharon's teachings for quite a while now, so I know a few of you in the room here, Letitia and Mallory, and of course Emma. So glad to be here in circle with you all. And I am complete, and I will tag Letitia and clarify if you have changed your name so I know in the future.
Yes, hello. I changed my name to Spirit, celebrating my freedom. I completed a chapter on my journey. I am so happy to be here around you guys. Oh my God, I came in late, and the power of the room, the sacred space, it just sucked me in, and I went into a trance, and all I felt was home. I felt home, and I'm happy to be here, and I am complete. Thank you. I tag Emma, sorry. I'm just so excited, y'all.
Thank you, Spirit. It's so good to see you again. You look so shiny and happy. So I am Emma McKenzie. Like Kelly, I've known Sharon for a while, and I find her work inspiring and interesting and powerful. And I'm always happy to take classes when she offers them, because I'm just so interested in seeing how she is evolving. I can't remember, did I say I'm in Western Massachusetts? So I am on the Eastern time zone, so I don't know where, I know Kelly is on the West Coast, but right now it's a little bit after 5 p.m. here. So if I yawn, I'm not bored, I'm just moving towards sleep because it's so dark. And I will call on Amy.
Hello, just figured out how to put my name in there. I'm Amy Waters, and I am in Denver, Colorado. And I'm new to most of these groups and just really looking forward to spending some time with you. And is there anybody else left to tag? I kind of got on late, so let's see here. Is it Kelly?
Actually, I've gone, but Mallory has
Okay.
not. I will
Okay.
pass it to her.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maoli. I live in Traverse City, Michigan, and so I'm on the Eastern time zone as well. And I'm pretty new to the whole galactic thing. It just kind of came into my life a few weeks ago, and it's been amazing already. And I found out about this course through Kelly, and I'm just really excited to be here, and I can't wait to grow and explore and learn more with everybody. And I'm complete.
Awesome. It's so much fun to. So Amy, what part of Denver are you in?
Okay, am I unmuted now?
Yes.
All right, sorry. I'm in Lakewood, so just a little bit west of Denver, 10 minutes or so.
I grew up in Littleton, so whenever I
Oh.
hear Denver, I was like, oh yay, another landscape person.
And
So
I came in late. Where do you live now?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is fun, Emma, to watch how Sharon, I mean, because the landscape is changing. There's this whole new energy coming in. And so I'm super excited to see what else she's been picking up, because it has shifted quite a bit.
It really, it's deepened. I got kind of caught by Sharon's first book, and I found it really compelling. And then she had a second book, and sent it around to people, for comments. And I emailed her back. I had never met her, or had a conversation with her. I emailed her back and I said, I'd like to edit this book for you, and in exchange, I'd like to work with you. And that's how we got started. It was just through the power of Sharon's message, and feeling like it's really important for the people who are able to hear it, do hear it.
Yeah. And I know for me too, it's been the deepening of finding somebody that can interpret what I see, or help interpret what I see in my mind's eye, and not feeling like we're alone in what we're picking up. So having community that you can come to and talk about the galactic side of things has really been transformational for myself. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, now I can have something else to relate to in that concept. So yeah, very helpful.
Spirit, how did you come into contact with Sharon?
I was connected with Audrey, and that's how I met Sharon. And everything was just so divine in my life, starting in April when I got let go of my job. Then I was able to start taking courses with her from one class in April. Then it just spilled all the way over until we finished Woman Remaking the World. And it's just, I'm addicted. Like I said, when I jumped on call, and this is my only space of hearing this level of consciousness and what's out there. So it's so divine to me. And even though I'm part of other women's groups, like I said, when I just stepped into this energy field, I couldn't hear anything anymore. Something in me was just sucked into the space that I felt this higher level of peace and divinity that just, and all it kept saying to me was home, home, home. So thank you, Sharon, for sharing this with us. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. So I don't know where everybody is at this point. I'm shifting between my phone. My computer just came back on. So if you're still sharing, continue the sharing. I'm going to be the computer, okay?
We've introduced ourselves, and we're just sharing, some of us who've already worked with you, how we came into contact with you.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's like I have probably about 2 minutes and I'm going to be on. Thank goodness my computer, it's not as fun to be on it on my phone. So I'll be right there, okay?
Technology can throw us all for a couple loopy-loos. At least we know how to navigate between multiple platforms. I was talking to somebody this morning, and it really felt like we're living kind of in this sci-fi world, when we were younger. And I know I'm a little bit older than some of you in the room, or maybe, yeah, I think there's a few of us that are older in the room. So we back in the day would watch sci-fi things thinking, wow, wouldn't that be cool? And here we are in the moments living them.
Watching the Jetsons cartoon growing up and everything is like, oh my God, it's here,
We still don't have flying cars.
It'll be before.
I suppose we should be grateful for.
Elroy. Say, Mally, how did you come across the galactic thing? How did it come in for you? Was it through the runes?
That call that we had, yeah, with the runes in the Northern Gateway, that there was that one call, and it came up, I think, I don't remember who brought it up, but it came up in one of our live gatherings, the bi-weekly one. And it was the Lyrian that came through for me. And I've had this whole cat connection with Freya, but then the Lyrians came through hard at that point. And I started doing some research that weekend, and then Syrians came in. I had a past life as a whale, and so then that connection came through. And then this last weekend, I did a couple I did a couple barters with some energy healers that do past life activations. Oh, that's fun. The 2 past life activations, and then even more came through, like that I was also an Atlantean priestess, and then an Andromedan connection. And so now I'm like hooked, and I just want to know more. And I keep seeing all the faces that I've ever been, including like my Lyrian face, my whale face, my Atlantean face. Like I keep seeing all these faces. And it's just, like I said, it opened that one conversation, and this last weekend even more has come through. So, and the same day that all of that came through was the same day that I saw your post about Sharon. And so it just was again like that divine timing. It was like, yeah, okay, I guess I'm doing this. Like the course was starting Tuesday, and I think I signed up. My lights are acting weird. All this energy.
Make sure we just have ourselves very, very secured in the Guardian Circle protocol. We'll talk about that in a minute, because yeah, this is definitely, we're rocking the boat.
All right, I guess I'm just gonna be a little in the dark over here, but we're good. Can you guys see me okay?
Yes.
Really
So
good.
Amy, you're the only one who hasn't had an opportunity to share yet about how you kind of got attracted to this class.
It's quite interesting. I'll try to keep it in a nutshell, but back in March, just kind of like when all this shutdown was starting, I was on my way to Hawaii, and the day before I left, my state was shutting down, and all my friends and family thought I was crazy for leaving. Well, I had a very strong call from Mother Earth to go. And it was so strong that, I left my 6 kids with family and friends kind of in this unknown time, but I knew everything would be okay. Well, in the meantime, I got a lot of time alone in the beautiful state of Hawaii. And when I got back, I got introduced and led to Robin Davis with Mothership Alliance, and saw Sharon on there several times. And so since March, all this new frequency and energy and evolution and change has been calling me. So I'm just moving forward with it.
Beautiful.
Good. Well, I'm having a hard time with, I'm gonna try and get out of my phone without ending the meeting, because it doesn't give me the chance to just leave. But I'm going to do that because I think the meeting will continue, and I'll be on my computer. So give me a moment to get out of this phone mode, okay? Let's see.
You can also kick yourself out on the screen.
Oh, I've got the option to just leave, and okay, and they say if I go, I'm going to have to assign a new host, and I'm just going to assign Emma for right now. Okay. Oh my gosh, they will not stop us.
No.
Oh, good. Well, so I really appreciate in that in a collaborative community where every woman is a leader and has experiential wisdom, that the show goes on. Right? So such an opportunity to be together in this way. And to be able to hear, and I didn't hear all yet, but I'll go back to the recording, but to be able to hear just a little bit of your stories is really heartening to me. I'm probably the oldest one here. Yeah, undoubtedly the oldest one here. So I know times even more than you were, you were one person in a whole community. And so you couldn't talk much, you couldn't share much. And so to be able to sit together and just share this strange, wise wisdom, weird, in a group that goes like, yeah, we get you. It's quite an opportunity. So this comes out of the Sacred Ground Collective, and it's a community that held my teachings for a long time, but really brought it forward about 2 years ago when I had more time. So I'm going to share a screen just to give you a taste of what we hold as agreements within that community. So here you go. Our intention is to hold space as women, especially women right now, to wake up, acknowledge, and heal the wounds they carry in order to build lives that bring benefit and good. We understand our hidden history as galactic star families. We're being deeply rooted in those truths, which enables us to maintain sovereignty and restore ourselves to our soul's true nature. And as you heard some of the women sharing, we've really been doing that with each other for the last couple of years. We're just expanding the knowledge. We honor each woman's experience, power, authority, and encourage each to go within, be in stillness, find their unique contribution. Kind of an overview of us. And we have agreements. I'm just going to quickly go through them. We gather in sacred space of safety and sovereignty. One person speaks at a time and each is free to pass. We recognize that each woman is a leader in her own life. We share leadership to preserve the integrity of the circle and the purpose of the circle. We pause to hear guidance from the intelligence of those of good in the unseen. We respectfully listen to each other's inner guidance. We listen deeply from our heart. We share concisely from our own personal life experiences. We listen with discernment rather than judgment. We're self-responsible and apply good mind. We monitor our own energies, what that means. We'll talk, and that's part of what we'll talk about. We're not here to fix, change, nor advise unless someone asks, and then we can share from our experience. Our spiritual experiences and visions are held as sacred and as valuable, and what is spoken in the circle stays in the circle. So that's kind of some of our commonly held agreements that you're now stepping into. So I wanted you to be aware of that. So the intention of what am I doing with this class? In 1989, I had already been introduced to affirmations, basic affirmations, and I'd also been introduced to crystal chakra balancing. And that was the first time I'd been exposed to energy work. And in that process, the crystals are used on the body, on the crystal, on the chakras, picks up information from the chakras, you read the crystal, and then you do what the chakra says needs to be done for that center and for those power centers of the body. And I found it really, really helpful. And as my friends came and they'd walk away feeling more balanced, more clear, I said, this is really good stuff. Put it with an affirmation. And we've got, it's definitely really good stuff. And I was new. I was absolutely a newbie on the block. So I didn't know until I started looking that these same teachings I was thinking were new age, for example, or metaphysical new, they'd been being taught a long time. And so when my clients came back, having had a situation that triggered some inner pain, usually, I said, we've been using these principles, these concepts, these practices for a long time, and we're still dealing with the cycles of pain out there in the world. They said, well, yes, because it's the onion layer. You have to go through the layers of the onion to get to the core. I said, no, I'm not going to do it that way. If you have a sliver, my good friend Cinda talks about the sliver. I've talked about the sliver. If you have a sliver in your body, all of that which goes around it to kind of protect it and hold it in one place, it's like the onion. And you don't just drain off a little bit of that at a time. No, you go in and get the sliver out. When the sliver is gone, the onion dissolves. So I said to my spiritual teachers, whom I'd been working with for like 20 years, as I raised my kids, I never used it for like psychic readings, things like that. And I said to them, this is very powerful work, but I am not going to do the onion layer. I want to go to the cause of why humanity is cycling in pain. We're cycling in pain. I want to know what the cause of that is so I can remove it, so we can let go of the cycles. So where can I go to learn that process? And they said it's not being done that way on the planet. So if that's what you want to do, we'll teach you. But don't read anything. It's not out there. Get a journal and we'll start giving you the information. We'll bring you clients that will cause questions. And then that's how we will get the information to you, and that began my journey. I had no idea what they were talking about really or what that would mean, but I was on board mainly because I was curious. I wasn't in pain, but my clients were in pain and they had good things to bring to the world, and I wanted to help them get there. So therefore, the information that was eventually, I guess we would just say downloaded to me through this team I call the Ancient Ones, began to paint a very, very, very different picture, even than that which was being talked about in the metaphysical community, in the New Age community, and in the Ascension community, because the Ascension community was pretty big at that time. And what I found, that a lot of my clients found me because they had stepped into that idea that they wanted to accelerate their ascension. That meant they had to raise their frequencies, right? And they were going to do it quickly. They were pushing the envelope. But what they found is they didn't have the tools to dissipate those onion layers. So what they did is they kept hitting sabotage, and I became one crisis upon another crisis upon another crisis. And so they found me because my job was to go to the core of the problem and eliminate it. So what I discovered early on is that those who are really ready to go fast, to really get there, didn't have the awareness of what was in the way or the tools to clear the way. And so that's kind of, I stepped into more of an energy healing, the tag galactic system of healing, so that I could work with individuals to help them keep moving down the track and not have to stop so often. So here we are at this moment in time. We're out there in the world. No, this is nothing new to you, but out there in the world, we are seeing a lot of entrapping energy. We are seeing people being absolutely aware that whatever they've been in is dangerous or troublesome or harmful. And they know that, and they can no longer put the blinders back on. And it's not one at a time, like most of us did one at a time. We have masses out there. What do we do? So not only was that going on for me when I was told teach the entire galactic information starting in January. So that was already on my plate. And then last Friday when I woke up, I got kind of a real snapshot of what is going on in the world. And it's like those who have already they've awakened, they've done their work, they've got some dreams going on, they cannot put their dreams into the old container. It's like you can't put new wine in old bottles. Einstein said you can't solve problems with the same consciousness. But when you have ideas for solution, you've got, where is the new bottle? Where is the new consciousness? And all of a sudden it hit me in a different way. I don't know who else out there has it. I'm not saying there's no one else out there that has it, because I don't know. But what they gave me, what I call the galactic landscape, is the new consciousness. It's like, we're not going to build here over in the system that's going down. We're not going to fight the system that's going down. We're not kind of tweak it. We want to build, and there is a system that would support the building and is calling for the building. And it's like we're traveling to a new land. So that's the intention of this particular 4-week class, is to give you a taste of that new land, give you some tools that you can work with. And then if it draws you, I'd love to have you with me next year, because we'll be together the entire year, and I'll be teaching and sharing and integrating into a community that is building from what I call the galactic landscape. So what I'd like you to do now is, for about a minute, and I hope you all have a journal. If not, grab some paper and just write down, who am I? What do you know about yourself? Who are you? What's important to you? What are some of the dreams that you are getting that's your contribution? So capture in your journal, and then we're going to share in probably 3 small groups. Who are you? Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is break you, probably be 2 breakout groups, and in whatever way that will help you flesh that out, share who are you, and it might be what you've done in the past, what you want to do in the future, the qualities you hold, and we'll just take about 2 minutes each. So I'm going to do a 6-minute, because most of you some will be in 2 groups and some will be in 3. So we're going to do it for 3 minutes. Just share one by one by one, about 2 minutes each, and you can kind of time that, I think, yourself. Who are you? Who are you? Maybe also, if you have questions of that, you can throw that in the mix. So I'll see you in 6 minutes. Okay, looks like everyone's back. So what I want you to do is in your journal, before we do any kind of feedback here, in your journal, write a statement. It's like an affirmation, so it'll be positive statement. Claiming your presence. I am a presence of. And whatever that of is for you. It might be a color, might be values. What are you a presence of? And just write that, I am a presence of. So what we're going to do, I'm going to stop this, pause this while we do this. Your presence is enough to have made a difference in this circle. Because the vibration you bring, and you're here, and that vibration, you've made that commitment. You are here, focused, clear, any other stuff on the side. So you are a vibration, you are a harmonic, you are a song of those words. And we're already changed because of it. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, maybe 5-minute break. You don't have to walk dogs or anything, do you guys? If you need a little, is 5 minutes enough for this time? We'll just take a 5-minute break and then we'll be back. So it will be like 55 after the hour, or 5 minutes too. Okay, I'll be back. what we've done to this point is kind of get a baseline of where you each are. So Amy, you ready? Maoli, are you ready? There you go, pop up. Maoli, are you there? There you are. Okay, great, great. Okay, so now I want to share with you a few, what I say, concepts that are not true. And they're not all of the concepts that we've been living from that are not true in a galactic landscape, but they are some. And I also want to just note that whenever there's something new, maybe even strangely new, brought into your sphere, it might ripple around a little bit. It might, trigger some things. That's what growth's all about. That's what growth's all about. That's partly why you have a journal, so you can write down the things that go like, wait a minute. So here is what we're going to start with these few basics. Some concepts that are not true in a galactic landscape. 1, humanity is the cancer on this planet. Not true. All there is love. Not true. This is a planet for learning. Not true. We need the dark, the difficult, in order to grow, because we're going to be learning. Not true. When we have learned our lessons, we will not have to come back to an Earth experience. Not true. The most important quality for Earth life is to obey. Not true. Men's nature is assertive and leaders. Not true. Females' nature is receptive and nurturing. Not true. So I'm just going to let that lie there, because why that's not true becomes part of the whole year-long curriculum. But if you try to build the design for your life based on these and many others that we have let our programming hold on to, if you try to build on some of those concepts, they are old concepts. They are trying to understand what we didn't know, and your life will not be solid. It will be in the old matrix that's going down. So these are some of the concepts that aren't true. So when I said to my guides, I want to go to the cause, and they said, okay, if you're going to do that, we'll have to teach you. The very first thing they said to me is, you have to understand that there isn't just 2 worlds, Earth, heaven. And when you get it right, you get to stay in heaven, or whatever name you give it. Not true. So I'm going to shift here. And they said, you have to understand that there are 8 worlds through which you have traveled. 8 worlds, not dimensions. We're not talking dimensions here. We're talking worlds. This is, and as you can see, I've made the spiral of our energy, we'll say individual and even group energy, very, very big up here, because it's very, when we birth from our home, from our source, whatever name you give that, we birth as a group of consciousnesses that I call the star family or divine family. And the reason we birth or extend is because as a group, as a collective, we've wanted to experience something a little bit unique than how it would be experienced in the home of all power, all good, everything present. So we birthed into a world that I call the first world. This would be right after birthing. And then that first world, we did some experiences, we floated around, we extended, now it became a second, third. And because of some things that happened to us in this galactic experience, our energies already began to slow down, to become limited. And what we were here, we only have a bit of down here. And what I have circled right here is what I call, this is the Earth experience. This is the 8th world. This is what we know as the body, mind, emotion paradigm right here. And for most people, this is where they try and function and try to make sense of things. But as some of you shared, where are those feline worlds? Where are those alien worlds? Where are they're up here. And if you try to talk about those experiences to someone who this is all that is real, you are either looked at as schizophrenic or hallucinating, or, you know, you can't explore those aspects of yourself on this landscape. And the world needs you to be all that you are, and therefore you need a bigger landscape. Now, what I did, and I have a couple of pictures to kind of explain our timeline here. So we were in the galactic worlds, like there was no time, no space. Our family heritage, we still have families there. It's like cousins, aunts, and uncles. We aren't disconnected from them, but we don't remember them. But we lived in these worlds a very, very long time, until a plan was made to have a physical Earth. And that's this, the physical Earth. So going by facts, archaeology, science, and history, about 1.8 million years ago, they discovered that there was a Homo sapien on Earth. As I looked over some of these bodies and what they think those individuals were able to do, I realized that the Neanderthal body and how they lived was pretty darn close to our divine family. So I think this is the bodysuit. We may have been trying different bodysuits because we needed a physical body. We needed an Earth vehicle. We're souls, we're light, we're energy. We needed a vehicle to be on this planet. And so this is the closest, by what we know about the Neanderthal, this is the closest to what I was told we did when we first came onto the planet. We came onto the planet. We did not intend to have children. It was not about having children. We had a specific thing to do. We needed to get that done. Now, the Neanderthals, all as much as they know about the Neanderthals, they didn't expand like we've expanded in our day. They didn't expand. They kept the numbers at a pretty much certain amount. They had communication. We were learning more about them all the time, but they were not in any way savages. So they had a lot of the characteristics of our divine family in a bodysuit. And we were living in ways that were in alignment to the purpose of this Earth, which we're not going into that today. But because of some things, again, that happened down in this, the Neanderthal bodysuit literally was rewired and became a Cro-Magnon body. This body didn't evolve to that body. It was a totally crippled body called a Cro-Magnon. And then the Cro-Magnon body was replaced by what we now call the Homo sapien body. That all fits into the galactic landscape story that we'll get into. They've never known why there was just the Neanderthals and then there wasn't. The Neanderthals were gone. But they were gone by about 40,000 years ago. Now, the earliest dated goddess statue is 38,000. See what a difference that is? 600,000. We had females then. What was going on? Earliest goddess statue. And then the appearance of the male rule that we call patriarchy. The first indications of myth, and of course we have to go by whatever written things have come forth, but here's myths, Greek myths, etc. The earliest indication of a god, or the name God, right in that period of time, the written account of Christ, writings that formed the Old Testament, Christianity formed, and here we are in present day. So if you were to look at it this way, look, that for this length of time, something was going on. And then we have the goddess statue, patriarchal rule. And so this little teeny sliver is what we have a little bit of understanding of. And I guarantee you that by this sliver, by the time this happened, the galactic history, the secrets had already been ripped away from us. And we began living more and more in systems that were created from domination. But they were here before. But this is all about survival. It is all about making do. It is all about being silent and quiet to be safe. And that's what we have now as our current structure, that we cannot build on that structure. We cannot build on that energy field. It won't support who we really are. So here's another way to look at it. Divinely designed bodysuit, the Cro-Magnon, the Homo sapien, Neanderthals disappeared. Female statue, male rule, military occupation, myths. So if we try to base our building on any of this, it falls too short. Now, that doesn't mean that we ought not to know about those things, because there is damage that's been done, and that damage needs to be corrected. But we can't build on this. And that's why, for me, it was time to say, let's talk about the galactic landscape. So if I leave that up and you look at that, take a few minutes. What does that bring up for you? And put it in your journal. What does it come? What questions come up? What awarenesses are triggered? And I'll just give you a minute or so to think about that. I'm going to stop the screen share, and then let's just go around, and whatever you want to put into the field, a question, an awareness, whatever it might be. Let's just listen to each other and see what's rolling at this point. Okay, Kelly, can we start with you? And then again, we're going to just tag around. And if you want to pass, you're welcome to pass.
Sure, thank you. I think what the first thing that comes up for me whenever I look at these timelines is, first and foremost, the impact that Christianity had on us all. I mean, that's always what comes first for me. and then just recognizing that it was so much earlier than that, that things were really instrumental in why and how those things in the future of Christianity and things really were able to take hold. So that's just what I've been sitting with. And I'm complete. Do I tag? I'm sorry. Okay. Spirit.
What was coming up for me is where ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt fits in on that timeline. And as a woman of African descent, when I tap into certain videos and information from people, we were a civilized people, what I'm learning way before, and we were living some mystical ways, speaking to, thinking already we came from stars, we came from, so where does all of that fit into it, and how, and so much. Thank you, and I pass to Amy.
I guess for me, the slide that you showed with all that space that was in orange, during those times of the bodysuits, it just came up for me like, what was I doing, or where was my part during that time? And that's kind of the connection that I've been seeking lately, and kind of why I'm here. So, and I'm complete, and I will tag Emma.
I had pretty much the same question as Amy. I'm just really curious about what the Neanderthal cultures were like, and what were they doing? What were they creating that was not just visible creation, but invisible creation? I looked a little bit about their migration patterns from kind of Eurasia into Northern Africa, into kind of the Mediterranean area. And also, because Google is my friend, I quickly looked up, like, well, how did they go extinct? And like Sharon said, they're like, nobody knows. And there are a lot of people who feel like they were kind of integrated into the Cro-Magnon and the Homo sapien. And so that in essence, that bodysuit doesn't exist, but there's something that exists, which I think is very interesting on a vibrational level. So that is what I am thinking, and I will call on Maoli.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, a lot of what everyone's already kind of said, and just very much so curious about all of what happened before, like that the whole Neanderthal to Cro-Magnon to Homo sapien, and oh my gosh, my blood is singing. Like it feels like there's so much there to remember, and that I don't know. I keep seeing like this like DNA encoding, like these flashes. And so I feel like, yeah, and like I keep remembering Mickey Singer for some reason, in this concept that like all that information is stored in us, like the light beings and all that stuff. So I just feel like there's this deep remembrance, and it's wanting to come through, like it's there and it's wanting to be remembered. Yeah, that's all. Is there anyone else? I think that's it. Okay.
I think
I'm complete.
Good. Okay, I'm just going to go back to this this screen share. So there was a bodysuit created that the souls then chose to be in, Earth suit. So this, you see the little, that green that galactic world is much, much bigger than this, but it's, you know, how could you ever not, there's no end to it. So here we are now, we're coming onto the planet, we're coming into bodysuits, and the bodysuit is designed, it's engineered, it has its DNA, it has an evolutionary path, it's programmed to help us do what it is we were to do. And so for all this length of time, that was being done. And we came in groups, we came in villages, and the villages moved around. Why did they move around? That's all part of the story, but they moved around to say, where's the best place to be? And they were living more direct reflection of their divine nature and earth mission. So would it be worth making a note in your journal to say, hey, what was I doing? Help me, go back and see. Absolutely. But there was a presence on the planet, which is the cause of our domination. It was already on the planet. And as soon as that energy group saw what was happening and what could happen with these Neanderthals, they crippled the wiring of the bodysuits. Therefore, you have the Cro-Magnon. It's a body crippling. It was the original body crippled. Now we begin living in a crippled body for a length of time until that same group replaced the body blueprint to Homo sapien. And the Homo sapien body has been like a prison body. It has been a body that has not contained the evolutionary path, the DNA, all the support. So those two bodies were what the Neanderthal body was changed into. Short story. So let's go back. So again, I got information because I asked questions. You'll get information because you ask questions. Totally, totally encourage that. So I'm going like, okay, well, here is a group in home, in source, that coalesces around an idea. And these souls, intelligences, coalesce around an idea that they like. And that coalescing around the idea becomes a collective that then becomes a star family as it's birthed. I call it a divine star family. I used to just call it divine family, but it's a divine star family. And what my team eventually told me is that there are 7 different star family collectives that are working together on Earth. So we are within 7 families. Whoops. And as you can see, one they're just curious. They wanted the opportunity to make any choice, any of the aspects of good. All of these families chose agendas or ideas that would bring good, period. Curiosity just wanted to explore all. If you use colors, you could say they wanted to explore yellow and then red and then blue, and they just wanted to explore it all when they wanted to explore it. That was curiosity. Another family wanted to experience a specific ray. In my system is yellow. They wanted to radiate and experience, no, it's white, it's joy. They wanted to experience joy. Another group came together and they wanted to be able to say, how can we stay connected, so connected to home, and let the manifestations, the gifts that home gives be center to our life. Those are orange. That's an orange vibration. There was another group that wanted to radiate what I call peace. It's a blue frequency. You have to realize I've put qualities on them as it relates to Earth. Up in those worlds, it's vibrations, it's dances, it's music, it's numbers, it's symbols, but we relate to it more in a more concrete way, peace. The other one was another one, how do I use power or leadership correctly? But how can I help make things happen, but more for the masses? Or here's another one, was again, the unseen gifts, that orange vibration. And here is one, this is a small group. It's like you might see this person that they just stay very centered in that clarity, that they're just going to be home vibration here. And they're not going to let themselves get involved with anything else. It's like they're anchoring, and that's a red vibration. So if you just take a gander and just make a note, what seems to resonate with you? And make a note in your journal. Curiosity, joy, that inner knowing, peace, leadership, clarity, and moving people.
Sharon, is one missing?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, there's 7. Isn't there 7 there? Am I counting?
No, one you have twice.
Yes, one is one. There's 2 separate groups that they both chose a similar ray. And then here's often what I have found, and most everyone on the planet is from the divine family. There's very few that are not, but most everyone is. So some of you maybe have already felt this, a deep sense of an agenda, something overarching presence of all good, a sense of community, a value of being together, and witnessing the fragmentation of the earth, in the earth, and I've got that down there. See how confusing it is, even if you don't know why, because it doesn't make sense in your inner world. You find those places that reflect home and you embrace it. You expect experiences of good, that resource, the enrichment, and that doesn't always stay in place here on this planet because of the cultures we're in. Our culture doesn't support experiences of good. And maybe you don't know this, but you may have forgotten that you are on assignment here. You're an ambassador from your divine family. But there's something, and that you may have pieces of it, but where is it more? So I'm going to suggest again a couple of statements, and move this out of the way. And we'll talk about reality statements before we close. So for example, claim your connection to your divine family. I'm fed, clothed, energized by the greater field of my divine star family collective. My life, breath, activities are a reflection of my earth purpose as an ambassador of my divine star family's agenda for earth plan. You may not even know what that is yet. But the first step is to understand that this picture is a lot bigger than we have been shown and we have been allowed to know, and that you're not, quote unquote, crazy for feeling and sensing what you're feeling. There is reason for it, and that you're being called to step into something. And you're being called to step into something that's foundationed on galactic truth. So here's the first steps: understanding that we have a Galactic Star Family agenda. It's immense. And here's another statement, and this will be on the course material as a download by tomorrow, as well as the video be up. But the values of my star family and my spiritual teachers are, that's another statement to complete. It's like you are going to be writing your story like from scratch, using things you already know, but now including it in the bigger picture. The values of my star family and spiritual teachers are. It's very important to claim secured channels to the star families. I know all of you in one way or another get information. And now what I'm suggesting is that, and a lot of times somebody say, you know, the ascended masters are teaching me, or Jesus is teaching me, and hey, that's good, but they are step down. They're stepping up from where we are, but they're still step down. In the Hermetic tradition, that they would be called, oh, now I'm forgetting the name of it. You're learning from what they knew. But now what you need to do is you need to learn from your greater team. We're moving from a moon path of what somebody else used to get stabilized to a sun path to get not stabilized, but beyond needing stabilization. We are going into that world of the galactic. So that's why claiming what your spiritual teachers are and beginning to say, I'm going to build a relationship with my star family. It's like going home. What's the house like? Who's there? Are they glad to see you? You know, start building that relationship. So the assignment this week is to create some reality statements. We've done a few today, you know, right here. And they're going to be called for this week. They're going to be called your North Star. The handouts will show you how to take a reality statement and with your words move it through a reality shift, which basically brings in your team and says, move me into that energy field and heal what's in the way of it so it can manifest for me. Create a new design, a software program, and download it for this particular story. The reality shift will do all of that, and that will be in the handouts. And then notice those times when you are knocked into doubt, knocked into worry, knocked into confusion, you know, out of good mind. You're not staying centered with who you are when you're out of good mind. And then use your tools. What do you need to do to get back, you know, into that place of good mind, and track with that during the week. There are two major concepts that are part of the domination system that we didn't create. It was broadcast and then we took it on. And one of them is you are not enough. You are not enough. A total lie broadcast that we then anchored. The other one is the decree, if you will. It's more like a decree that enmity would be placed between women and their voice and a power of authority. That enmity would be placed between women and their voice. Therefore, the women in your life, and you too, might be going along merrily growing together, and all of a sudden this concept unknowingly triggers in, and they start cutting you down, cutting you off. Instead of working with you in a mature way, they start acting as if you are the enemy. That is another programmed sabotage that's very, very huge in the female psyche. And because women are waking up to the degree they are, we've got to recognize it as that. And there's a really powerful command you can use with any of these that says deep six. Say to your spiritual team, deep six. And again, there'll be some explanations of that. And you can play with it. It might bring up questions, etc. but reality shift to put your North Star in place. Watch how, when you're taking off your North Star or good mind and get back onto it, how does that work for you? And then watch for anything you're not enough, you don't know enough, it'll never work for you. Big lie, deep six. And you start feeling angry and pushing women away. Or having women push you away. Deep six, the whole energy. So there we are for this session. And I hope it's gives you a beginning taste of where we're going. So real quickly, we have not even a minute left, but if there's anything you really quickly want to say before we close, certainly put it in there. Anyone? Thanks, Spirit. Okay.
Thank you, Sharon.
Until next Tuesday. And if any of you, like, if you find you can't make it on Tuesday or you want to do a Thursday too, totally fine. We're the same material, and then each week a different material. Okay.
Thank
Is
you.
this stuff gonna get emailed? Like, is how?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, you registered onto a platform.
Uh-huh.
And so that platform will have the material on it, and I can
Okay.
quickly put all your emails from in the chat so that I can capture them for this class, and I can get that. And also on that same platform, there is a community page. So you can go, you're in there doing the course, and go to your front page, and there will be also a Sacred Ground community conversations. So
Perfect.
you can have conversations within there too. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience with my glitch at the beginning. Bye, loves.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.